Have you ever remembered this statement from CIC President Julius Malema to say, it is cold outside the ANC, but we're going to make it warm? I think they've tried at the level best of their potential to make it warm because I think now the statement would be a vice versa. We could see like the commission within the African National Congress, like for instance, if I could just make a typical example, this news that you see, the articles, tabloids disseminating all over social media about Paul Mashatile's imbecile, malicious iniquities, of corruption that also include people like SG, Figile Mbalula's vacation, that was, they used money to finance that vacation unfairly, which is part of corruption and all of these things. And the question that I'd like to pose to people of South Africa is that why all of a sudden? Because I'm quite sure why all of a sudden all of these politicians, especially Paul Mashatile, Figile Mbalula, now their corruption has been exposed now during this vehement of coalition proposals. It is very clear that there is a conflict of interest. There are squabbles, quarrels, dissonance within the African National Congress. But I think this is Ramaphosa's manipulation, to paint these political leaders as who are the ones who are corrupt within the ANC governance, so that people, the masses, would be persuaded and convinced that Cyril Ramaphosa is the right candidate who should not be expelled from the ANC. And if you look at the pragmatics of that, is that other politicians like Lindiwe Sisulu are very vocal to dispel Cyril Ramaphosa from presidency. Even Paul Mashatile, I'm quite sure that he has an insatiable drive, hence he's also gazing his eyes, into maybe inheriting this high incumbents to become the president of this country. He's the vice president as I'm talking to you right now. So I'm quite sure that he is more inclined to become the president. And according to pragmatics, people are not happy with the Ramaphosa governance, and he's the head of state currently, and we see a lot of things that are gone far away from the rails. If you will think of the ESCOM, electricity load shading, people are not happy about the level of crime that is at the brink, is skyrocketing. We see celebrities and the very important people are being gun pointed, and it seems like they don't find conducive, tangible evidence. So the crime is at the brink and it's uncontrollable. And we can further go to what else? Even the infrastructure, the framework, you could see the potholes, but the money is being collected in the form of fines, of traffic tickets and what's not and so forth. But you still find potholes on the road. In contrast, in comparison, you could see a lot of discrepancies between the apartheid government and the current governance. You could even maybe try to be convinced that the apartheid government was extremely intrinsically better than the current government. No, even though there might be things that the apartheid government was doing substantially way better than as compared to this current governance, but I cannot choose the former regime over this regime of the African National Congress, even though it is still in question. It is still in question. I won't lie to you, and I won't beat around the bush. I'm just going to be blunt with you. There is a lot of wrestling within the ANC. ANC is wrestling against in each other, while there are still outside political organizations that are still throwing words like stone towards the ANC, which they are still like putting punches on the ANC. So I think we're living in a point in time whereby there's no way. It is incorrigible, to save ANC at this particular moment, according to this grotesque that we see. It is really incorrigible, to save ANC at this particular moment, even though it is it is very clear that the level of gravitas, of the ANC campaign trying to save ANC, but they couldn't succeed on that because numbers don't lie. You could see they failed to get to that majority which they've anticipated to. I think they dropped with almost about like 15%, if I'm not mistaken, and that is not good in books, you know. I think what is indispensable at this particular moment maybe is to urge Cyril Ramaphosa to step down because really he's not a people's person. He is literally not a people's person. And you could see the arguments from the oppositions, from the rivals. Umkhonto Wesizwe are saying, ever since, if you could quote from Gedle Ihlekisa's words, from Jacob Zuma's words, to say, I will die the ANC members. I will die a member of the ANC. But at the very same time, I will never vote the ANC of Ramaphosa again. So the attack is directly trajected to Cyril Ramaphosa. So let us then conclude in assuming that if Cyril Ramaphosa can step down, and then of which Umkhonto Wesizwe would maybe change the message and say, now you can vote for the ANC just simply because Ramaphosa has left, I don't think that's going to be an easy thing to do. I don't know the intentions behind President Jacob Zuma, whether is to obliterate the ANC or either this is just a concoct, to save ANC from falling, this current regime. So I believe that in all of this grotesque that you see, because now even Fikile Mbalula's corruption is exposed. These people used to sequester and protect one another. What went wrong right now? I think it's just simply because of the demands that these other opposing political parties will brings on the table in terms of coalition talks. So it is obvious that some political leaders within the African National Congress should be dispelled, from their positions. So I think that's where they grapple. You see, I think it's manipulated. It is a sabotage that you see people like Paul Mashatile, Fikile Mbalula, Zizi Kodwa. The articles are speaking bad about them. All of these malicious iniquities that these people embark on, that these people engaged on. It arouses a red flag, especially if you are an ANC political leader and now your name is being dragged, is being embroidered in these shenanigans, while you're still grappling to save the ANC. How possible could that be? Because people can think at some point, somehow, they will then begin to ask themselves, why now these political leaders of the ANC are being exposed? Because the media used to protect them. People like Gwede Mantashe, the corruption has been exposed now. I think it's Cyril Ramaphosa's manipulation is at play in these particular scenarios, because he wants to paint these people as the ones who are corrupt, not him. But the Phala Phala dilemma, it's still on hold. I think that's still going to be addressed. As soon as Cyril Ramaphosa step down on that seat, I think Phala Phala will still come back to court. He's still going to be up and down in court. So it is incorrigible. And it is daunting, to think you can save ANC in this particular scenario. But I think Cyril Ramaphosa is striving at the level best of his potential, to circumvent, find a way around these obstacles that they are facing. But I don't think they're going to win at any time soon. So I don't know.